Maybe you don't know, 5 types of food and drinks cause leg cramps at night in the elderly. Have you ever been sleeping soundly, only to be jolted awake in the middle of the night by a sharp, intense pain in your calf? The stabbing sensation feels like something is squeezing your muscle tight, forcing you to jump out of bed, massage, and stretch your leg. Yet the dull ache lingers. And the worst part? It keeps happening, week after week. Many people assume nighttime leg cramps are simply due to aging or lack of exercise. But in reality, your dinner might be the hidden culprit. Nighttime cramps in older adults are not rare. According to a study published in American Family Physician, up to 60% of people over 60 experience cramps at least once a week. Many have multiple cramps in a single night, completely disrupting their sleep. The problem is that night cramps are not just a passing pain. They bring lasting consequences. Chronic sleep disruption. Waking up 2 to 3 times a night leaves you tired the next day. Lingering muscle pain. Muscles may remain sore for hours or even days afterward. Fall risk. Especially dangerous for seniors. Getting up suddenly in pain can cause falls when muscles aren't ready to bear weight. While age, muscle weakness, and reduced activity play a role, one factor is often overlooked: your daily diet. What you eat, especially at dinner, can directly affect your muscles and your risk of night cramps. Some foods seem harmless or have been favorites for decades, but quietly trigger muscle contractions. Today, let's uncover the 5 types of foods behind these nighttime cramps. Food number 1. High-sodium processed foods. First on the list, high-sodium processed foods, meals packed with salt and artificial seasonings. These are among the top triggers for nighttime cramps in older adults. Common dangerous favorites: bacon, sausages, Chinese-style cured meats, ham and cold cuts, canned foods, tuna, spam, canned soup, instant noodles, salty snacks, salted crackers, packaged chips. They're popular for breakfast, snacks, or even dinner because they're convenient, quick, and long-lasting. But for people over 60, the effect is different. Why too much salt causes cramps? Think of your muscles like machines. They need fuel from electrolytes like potassium, magnesium, and calcium to run smoothly. Salt, sodium, in moderation helps balance body fluids, but in excess it can increase potassium loss through the kidneys, making muscles less able to contract and relax normally. Disrupt electrolyte balance, causing abnormal muscle stimulation. Raise blood pressure and cause water retention, which can reduce blood flow to muscles. When your muscles aren't getting enough minerals and blood supply, even a small movement can trigger a cramp. Long-term risks for seniors. Hypertension, already common after 60. Heart disease. Kidney function decline, which worsens electrolyte imbalance. Real-life example. A 68-year-old woman living alone often had instant noodles or sausages with bread for dinner. She started with 1 to 2 cramps a month, but within 2 months she was having them almost weekly, sometimes twice a night. After cutting out instant noodles, reducing sausages, adding more vegetables, and hydrating well, her cramps nearly disappeared within 3 weeks. Why seniors are more sensitive to salt? Declining kidney function, less efficient sodium filtration, slower electrolyte regulation, harder to rebalance after salty meals, less elastic blood vessels. High blood pressure further reduces muscle blood flow. Signs you're eating too much salt. Frequent thirst, especially at night. Mild ankle swelling in the evening. Cramps after salty meals. Morning high blood pressure. How to cut salt without bland food. Use herbs and spices like garlic, onion, ginger, pepper, oregano, and rosemary. Choose fresh over packaged foods. Check nutrition labels. Look for under 140 milligrams sodium/serving, low sodium. Cook with less oil and salt. Opt for boiling, steaming, or light pan searing. Safer swaps. Shredded boiled chicken and salad. Steamed or lightly grilled fish with lemon and herbs. Vegetable soup made from fresh produce. Bottom line, high-sodium processed foods are silent enemies of restful sleep for those over 60. Reducing them can lead to lighter, deeper sleep and fewer cramps. Part 2. When you should see a doctor immediately. For older adults, muscle cramps are often just a matter of the muscle tightening for a moment and then relaxing. But in some cases, they're like an alarm bell. If you ignore them, you might pay the price with your health or even your life. I want to share with you some red flag signs, so when you see them, you'll know it's time to see a doctor right away, without delay. 1. Cramps with swelling, redness, and warmth in the leg. If one of your legs suddenly cramps up, along with swelling, redness, and feeling warmer to the touch than usual, be careful. This could be a sign of deep vein thrombosis, meaning a blood clot is blocking blood flow in a vein. The problem is, if that clot travels to your lungs, it can cause a pulmonary embolism, which is very dangerous. If you have these symptoms, go to the hospital immediately. And remember, don't massage the leg or walk around too much, as that can cause the clot to move. 2. Cramps with numbness or muscle weakness. If a cramp is accompanied by numbness, tingling, or your leg feels weaker and harder to lift, it's likely the nerves are being affected. This could be from a herniated disc, diabetes, or a vitamin B12 deficiency. This is the time to get checked and find out the cause. Don't wait until the leg becomes too weak to act. 3. Pain lasting more than 10 minutes despite massage. Normal cramps usually ease within a few seconds to 1 to 2 minutes. But if you've already massaged and stretched the muscle, and it's still tight and painful after more than 10 minutes, the cause might be related to blood vessels, specifically, the muscle not getting enough oxygen because the artery feeding the leg is narrowed. This should be checked early to avoid complications. 4. Frequent recurring cramps. If cramps occur more than 3 times a week, whether at night or during the day, that's unusual. Such frequent episodes not only cause sleep loss, but also increase the risk of falls due to muscle weakness. At this point, it's wise to get a checkup, including blood tests, electrolyte levels, and a review of your medications. 5. Cramps even during light walking. If your calves tighten painfully after just a short walk, and you have to stop and rest to feel better, this could be peripheral artery disease. This is a blood vessel condition closely linked to heart health and should be evaluated promptly. 6. Cramps with shortness of breath or chest pain. This is an emergency. If you're having cramps and suddenly feel short of breath, chest tightness, or dizziness, call emergency services right away. Don't try to wait it out or handle it at home. Friends, most cramps are harmless, but if even one of the above warning signs appears, don't hesitate. Seeing a doctor early not only gives you peace of mind, but sometimes it can save your life. Listen to your body and don't ignore the signals it's sending you. 3. Caffeine-rich drinks. The third culprit, caffeine-rich drinks. When you hear this, you probably think of coffee, strong tea, and energy drinks, right? And yes, it also includes certain sodas like cola. Caffeine isn't bad when used wisely. It can help you stay alert and focused. But for people over 60, drinking too much or at the wrong time can lead to dehydration, mineral loss, and nighttime leg cramps. Here's how it works. Caffeine is a mild diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more than usual. And when you urinate, your body doesn't just lose water. It also loses potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals that are essential for proper muscle contraction and relaxation. On top of that, caffeine stimulates the nervous system, making muscles fire more actively. When this is combined with a lack of minerals, muscles are more likely to cramp unexpectedly, especially during sleep. I remember a 66-year-old woman who drank 3 to 4 cups of strong tea every day. She often complained of calf cramps at 3 to 4 a.m., even though her diet was otherwise balanced. When I advised her to cut down to 1 morning cup, switch to lighter tea, and drink warm water in the afternoon, her cramps dropped by over 70% in just 2 weeks. If you enjoy coffee or tea, have them in the morning and avoid drinking them after 2 p.m. You can switch to decaf coffee or herbal teas like chamomile or peppermint. They taste great and help you relax for better sleep. And remember, for every cup of coffee or tea, pair it with a glass of water to help replenish your body's fluids and electrolytes. 4. Alcohol. The fourth culprit, alcohol. Many people say things like, a glass of wine before bed helps me sleep, or a few beers now, and then just for fun can't hurt. It sounds reasonable, but for people over 60, alcohol can actually make it harder to sleep, and it can significantly increase the risk of nighttime leg cramps. Why is that? Alcohol dehydrates the body quickly. Alcohol suppresses a hormone called vasopressin, which helps the body retain water. Without enough of this hormone, your kidneys produce more urine, leading to more frequent bathroom trips. Every time you lose water, you also lose essential minerals like potassium and magnesium. two electrolytes that muscles need to contract and relax properly. Without them, your muscles are far more likely to cramp. It reduces nutrient absorption. Alcohol interferes with the digestive process, making it harder for your intestines to absorb vital nutrients, especially minerals needed for healthy muscle function. Even if your diet is otherwise balanced, regular alcohol consumption can leave your muscles undernourished. It affects nerve and muscle communication. Alcohol slows down or disrupts the signals between your brain and your muscles. This misfiring can make muscles contract suddenly and involuntarily, often in the middle of the night when your body is supposed to be at rest. A real-life example. I once met a 64-year-old man who had 2 beers every night, believing it helped him fall asleep faster. Ironically, he often woke up at 2 to 3 a.m. with severe calf cramps. After reducing his beer intake to only once or twice a week and pairing it with plenty of water, his nighttime cramps dropped dramatically in just 3 weeks. If you still want to enjoy an occasional drink, limit frequency. Save it for special occasions, not nightly. Choose low-alcohol options, light beer or wine spritzers instead of strong spirits. Hydrate generously. For every glass of alcohol, have at least 1 full glass of water. Consider non-alcoholic alternatives. Mocktails made with fresh juice, sparkling water, and herbs can be just as enjoyable and far kinder to your muscles and sleep. Bottom line, at this stage of life, a full, uninterrupted night's sleep is far more valuable than a pre-bed drink. Alcohol may seem relaxing at first, but the hidden costs, dehydration, mineral loss, and disrupted muscle function, can leave you waking up sore and restless. Choosing moderation or healthier alternatives will pay off with better sleep, more energy, 5. And calmer muscles in the morning. Rich foods. All right, now we've come to the final culprit, foods high in saturated fat. Sounds a bit technical, doesn't it? But in reality, we're talking about those fried favorites, fast food meals, and fatty cuts of meat. The kinds of foods many of us still enjoy because they taste so good. I get it. Who can resist the crunch of golden fried chicken or the gooey richness of a cheesy pizza? But at our age, these delicious treats can be a sweet trap for our muscles. Here's why. Reduced blood vessel flexibility. A diet high in saturated fat makes your blood vessels less elastic and more narrow over time. When blood vessels are constricted, less blood and oxygen reach your muscles. And without steady circulation, muscles are more likely to stiffen, especially at night when you're asleep and circulation is naturally slower. Low-grade inflammation. Fried and fatty foods can trigger chronic, low-level inflammation in the body. This puts your muscles in a sensitive state, where even small changes in hydration or mineral levels can trigger painful cramps. Extra weight and pressure on muscles. These foods are often calorie-dense, meaning it's easy to consume more energy than your body needs. Over time, weight gain puts extra strain on your muscles and joints, increasing fatigue and making cramps more likely. A real-life example. I once worked with a 70-year-old man who had fried chicken or burgers 2 to 3 times every week. He told me, I'd eat dinner, and then, in the middle of the night, my calf would just lock up so tight it woke me right up. After swapping those meals for grilled fish and steamed vegetables, in less than a month his cramps had almost completely stopped. As a bonus, his blood pressure and cholesterol levels improved too. Signs you might be overdoing saturated fats. Feeling unusually tired or heavy when walking. Frequent leg cramps, especially at night. Blood tests showing high cholesterol or triglycerides. How to cut back without giving up flavor. Swap frying for grilling, steaming, or boiling. Choose lean cuts of meat and remove the skin. Use olive oil or canola oil instead of animal fats. Occasionally replace meat with fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, rich in omega-3s that support both heart and muscle health. Bottom line, you don't have to give up these foods entirely, but reducing fried, fatty, and fast foods and replacing them with fresh, nutrient-rich meals can make a huge difference. Not only will your muscles be less prone to cramping, but your heart, blood vessels, and overall health will thank you. So today, we've identified 5 types of foods that can make people over 60 more prone to nighttime leg cramps. High-sodium processed foods, sausages, cold cuts, canned foods, instant noodles. Sugary snacks and drinks, candies, sodas, bubble tea. Caffeine-rich drinks, coffee, strong tea, energy drinks. Alcohol, wine, beer, spirits, Cocktails. Foods high in saturated fat, fried foods, fast food, fatty cuts of meat. You might be thinking, oh, these are just the foods I eat all the time. Exactly. That's why they often go unnoticed. But just a few small changes, cutting back and swapping them for healthier options, can make your muscles feel more comfortable, your sleep deeper, and your mornings free of calf pain and stiffness. I hope that starting tonight, you'll try applying some of the tips from this video. And if you find yourself sleeping better and experiencing fewer cramps, come back and leave a comment so others can benefit from your experience too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with friends or loved ones who may also be dealing with this issue. And don't forget to subscribe to Senior Vitality now and turn on the notification bell so you can receive more useful health tips for people over 60 every week. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Wishing you good health, restful nights, and no more being woken up by painful cramps.